Yeah, stray animals. Yeah, I feel kind of sad about that subject because I have two cats. The one is Beba and the other one is Frederick. Yeah, so in Greek it's Federikos. And I saved them from the streets. I picked them up, I took them to the vet. Now they're 14 and 12 years old. Yeah. I don't know if strays find shelters or homes, but yeah, we need to improve on that.
There are a lot of islands, small islands around the Aegean Sea, called Gaiduronysia, means donkey islands. They are named like this because when a donkey couldn't work anymore because of an accident of his age, they throw them into the sea and the wind moved the dead bodies to the island. This was the reality, the Greek reality, used to be the Greek reality about these animals. So we try to change this approach. So I am Dimitris, this beautiful lady is Tatiana, and we are the founders of the Hellenic Donkey Center. It's a kind of sanctuary for donkeys, especially for donkeys, and a center for involving and informing the nowadays people to the donkey culture.
Educating people about the welfare of donkeys. In the towns and the cities that are built with small, narrow paths, you cannot get in with a car. So you need donkeys or mules to carry things. So the typical problem in Greece is that a majority of owners doesn't really know how donkeys should live. So we find a lot of neglect.
Usually we find or we are informed about donkeys overaged or damaged. I mean, handicapped or traumatized or...
Oh, that's the first day.
First day.
I don't know which is the worst, like Vasula or...
Can you tell me about Vasula?
Vasula was a neglected donkey. She's the newest who came. She was living in Naxos. The person who had her had left her, died in deserted place. We assume that she was used for work before. And then from the moment they stopped using her, they totally abandoned her. So her hooves grew very long. She was skin and bones. She couldn't walk. It's like having your fingers like that all day and night and standing on them. This animal has lived in pain for years. She's crippled. So she was lucky that a foreign girl was passing by and saw her and insisted to call the police. We don't have so many cases of such an abuse of somebody torturing an animal, which is happening with dogs in Greece.
A friend of mine adopted a dog from northern Greece. She was 4 months old, something like that. She had been repeatedly raped with objects as well. Abuse, I cannot understand how people can abuse animals. For me, abusing a dog is the same as abusing a small child. There's no difference. Having an animal and not taking care of it, leaving it without food to die of starvation, or hitting it, or I cannot. My mind cannot process this thing. My name is Serafina Vramidou, and I am a council member of the City Council of Athens, responsible for the stray animals. We don't have many stray dogs living in the streets of Athens. The ones that live in the streets usually die of old age. They are 15, 16, because they are well taken care of by volunteers with the support of the municipality. Almost all the dogs that we have here are abandoned by their families. No animal gets in our hands and doesn't get microchipped, vaccinated, get antiparasitic treatment, and get sterilized. So if anyone wants to adopt from us, either a dog or a cat, they have all this treatment done by us. We don't want the animals to live in a cage for the rest of their life. Even for animals that are born on the street and they know how to move around, life is very difficult. Streets are a dangerous place.
Ξέρω τι να κάνω σε ένα σάπιο που είναι δωμάτιο εκεί μέσα κάθε τρίτη μου για γυναίκα πως το μαχτικό ποσό σκοτάδι σε ένα ανθρώπινο μυαλό τόσο μίσος φύγεις για το διπλανό και πόσα πράγματα ακόμα πίσω από ένα σταυρό με βαφτίσατε να δεν θυμάμαι το γιατί.
What do you think about stray animals here?
Well, actually I love animals, so I just wish stray animals wouldn't exist. No? Yes, I'm kinda camera shy. Since I was young, I used to be like around animals. I just love them so much. It breaks my heart to see them like on the streets, and like the government doesn't do anything about like taking care of them, especially like Greece and other countries too. Because I'm from Albania and I have been there a lot of times. Albania like doesn't even care about like the strays. Older people, they see animals as like dirty, and when they like give birth, the puppies, they throw them out immediately because they only like want one dog in their household. Like it's a very big problem in Albania, in Greece too, but our generation is more open to animals and having them at their house too.
It used to be a lot worse, but now I see more cats than anything else. But they multiply so quickly, you know? So now there's going to be a new crop. I mean, it's just an unending cycle. It's not just here, it's in a lot of places in the Mediterranean, you know? You know, people, if they don't know or if they can't take in an animal, they shouldn't. You know, they take it in and then leave it on the street. I think it's a terrible thing. It is punishable by prison and I think it's $10,000 fine to abuse an animal. Look, you know, there's so many things. First of all, every law that exists throughout Europe and throughout the world, basically, exists here in Greece as well. It's a matter of enforcement.
One of the most important things that this law has done has to do with sterilization. It makes sterilization mandatory. It has also made penalties for abuse much harder. Up to now, abuse was a misdemeanor. Now it's a felony, which means that you can also go to prison.
Animals welfare. This is here in Greece. They don't respect many times. So many people, I can say, they are good and have good feelings, but they have not make the effort to think about this. Some others, friends, or say, "Oh, what are you doing there? You are feeding cats, fool. You're foolish." And many other comments, you know. Some others are enemies. Before I start all these things, except that I had my cat and started to think about the others, it was COVID, you know, it was the quarantine, you know, and I thought that everybody was inside. There were no taverns, no restaurants open. How they are going to survive? And that made me starting, you know. So when I started to think in another way. I started to see what is happening and how they live. I didn't know many things.
Before 4 years, I was living here in this area. If I didn't work, I came here 2 times a day, the morning and the afternoon. And I'm feeding all the cats there. Lazarus, Eleni, Tarta, Firfirikos, Babies, Schiza.
Will you have a pension for them?
And when open this coffee, I close all this with a... So you didn't see the cats. I saw him there when I leave with a bottled water and put to the cats cold water. They fight all the time.
Do you have any other problems with people? Do other people come and shout at you for feeding the cats?
No, at this time not.
Last years there were more, and now people have...
They didn't like to go into the shop, of course, the cats. Stay out, like a dog. They wait for me when I'm going for coffee. They wait for me out.
my cat is paralyzed and he was shot at the spine by someone in the center of Athens. In Greece, you don't have to look for animals. You can see them everywhere. So we help as many cats as we can. We are the strays. We are 3 people, and we have neutered 1,200 cats in 2 years. Some people have tried to stop us from the process. We have faced that a lot of times, yes.
Why?
Because they think that neutering is like cutting a limb of the animals. Unfortunately, there are many people who have this opinion here.
We were both involved as volunteers in the Greek Society for Equine Protection.
I wanted to be a vet when I was young for big animals.
Since we had the place existed, suddenly there came other animals like dogs and cats. They came to find us.
And this is Costando.
Some ducks and some chicken.
We collected a goose, but a goat too, found here abandoned in the center of Athens.
Yeah, there was a goat.
Yes, Tsika is her name, and she's very clever. And
rabbits were rescued from the fires in the summer in Varibobi.
Also, we give donkeys to new homes to rehabilitate them.
Isidore came from France, walking with his previous master, a priest. Bravo, Sumba. Kokonitsa. Perzini. We don't exactly know, but she was owned by gypsies before, so she was very frightened of people. She was used for breeding, giving birth every year. She's still not trusting easily. Let's go in. Όχι, εμείς μέσα, όχι εσείς έξω. Πάμε πίσω. So the curious guys will come and check you out now. So let me introduce to you the leader of the herd. She's... Σταμάτα εσύ τώρα, okay. This is Pepito, he's the naughtiest of all. Naughty boy. And he will send everybody away because he wants to be in the center of attention. Σταμάτα, σταμάτα, don't do that. See what he does. Ears behind is a bit naughty or nervous. Σταμάτα, χαζούλη. Είσαι χαζός. This herd, γεια σου Μαριανάκη, has one leader and it's a female and she's in there. She's the queen. Manu's not interested in seeing us.
The queen is not taking any visitors at the moment. And here you come again. And here you are.
Mariana again. She's just changing positions. Benjamin behind you. The program with schools that we're doing, it's also changing these kids' way of thinking. This is our oldest one. She's reaching 40. Marizuli. Yeah, he wants to open the gate and he will try to do it. Yeah, we have many cases that kids are afraid or disgusted by touching an animal. When leaving, they're hugging from the neck of a donkey and saying, he's my best friend. I love Pepito, I love Isidore. And I think that this is something that can change a person's mind about things.
When they grow up, they will not ever do cruelty things on any animal. I'm sure.